Welcome. This is the Treasures of Life show, and my name is Jonas Simba. How have you been? Treasures of Life show is your home of energy. I get energized every time I come to your screen. Can you believe it? Just coming before you on your phone, on your laptop, on your TV set gives me energy. I believe it's the same with you, or rather, I hope it is the same with you. Treasures of Life show comes to you every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Prime time, by the way. A time when you are home from the hustle and bustle and the activities of your day. It is deliberate so that you get energized as you wind up the day. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on Science TV. Science TV is your inclusion platform. You can follow this show on YouTube, Science TV. Just tap Science TV, get the shows there. Or you can go to Facebook and place Blind Jonas Simba, or TikTok, Blind Jonas Simba. Just get some tips there. Get the shows in there. There are links I've placed on my social handles. You can get the links. Or you can go directly to Science TV on YouTube. Our sign language interpreter today is none other than Gideon Minor. I'm talking about causes of suicide. Causes of suicide. What comes to your mind when you hear the word suicide? What comes to your mind when you hear the word suicide? I remember an incident not so long ago when somebody drove back home. And this was a lady. She drove back home in a fairly middle class area. And she drove back home. And this was in the media. She drove back home and, she found her husband's vehicle. A Range Rover was there. And she was driving back home in a Mercedes Benz. Yeah, and just as she arrived, she was wondering why the husband's Range Rover was there. So guess what she did? She went into the house and unfortunately, she found the husband and she thought the husband was in a situation because she found the husband with another lady. She didn't wait for explanations. What she did was she took their very small boy, I don't know whether that was 3, 4, 5 years old boy, very handsome, bouncing baby boy. Yeah, and she just went back to the, downstairs. The husband thought maybe she's going back to take something. But she went and entered her Mercedes Benz. Believe it or not, she took petrol. I don't know where she got the petrol, whether it's from their car garage or what. And she entered the vehicle and she poured petrol on the Mercedes Benz. And right in there, she was there with a handsome baby boy. Unfortunately, she lit a match and the Mercedes Benz went up in flames. Not just, what is more valuable there is the lives. The Mercedes may have burnt down into ashes. But look at those lives that went down into ashes. Very sad. That is just an incident that when I remember, I shudder. I have friends that I've heard of who committed suicide. You can't believe it when you find somebody has committed suicide. I remember one young lady. She just, found in her room, her side room. She had lay there and she had written a note, and she had committed suicide. Right now in Kenya, where this show is coming from, there is a rise of suicide cases. For some reason, there is a reason why we have to address this. Of course, this is a suicide month. I cannot say Happy Suicide Month? No. No. It is just to ask ourselves what causes suicides, what causes suicides in the society. It's a month where the society is thinking about how to deal with suicides. And unfortunately, it's coming at a time where we can think of one or two cases. If you live in Kenya, you will agree with me that there are issues. There is a lot of suicide cases, a lot of homicide cases. For some reason, people are taking away their lives. Just imagine this, where you are seated right now. There is somebody fighting desperately for life. There may be somebody who has an issue with their health, and they are doing their very best, spending a lot of money, spending so much resources, time, traveling to many other countries trying to look for treatment so that they stay alive. You have a treasure. You have life. What is it that can match life? You need to care for your life. Life is fragile. Handle it with a lot of prayer. Did I just say that? Yes. Handle it with a lot of care. There is a reason for you to reason. Something should make you reason for a moment. Of course, there are causes of suicide. But do you have a reason right now to reason? Can I cause your mind to sit down and reason? I want to bring you to that place of reason. There is a reason for you to reason, There is a reason for you to think. Just sit down in that place of quietness as you listen to me and start going through incidences where for one reason or another, you stayed alive. You've gone through difficult times. You've gone through challenging times. You've gone through near misses, but you stayed alive. There is a reason why you're alive. This gives you a reason to reason. This gives you a reason to think. You are a treasure. You are a treasure. You as an individual, the power of one person, you can cause a lot to happen if you stayed alive, I don't want to say dying before your time, because we all have time, A child may be born and he's gone. Someone else may live up to their middle ages and they're gone. Somebody else may live up to their old age and they're gone. That was all their time. I can't say that is time before their time. What do you do with the time that you have? Don't take away your life. Don't. Let it be that nothing causes you to take your own life. Because there are causes. Of course, there are things that you need to demystify. Psychological causes, for example. Life is very psychological. You may be going through psychological issues, emotional issues. These are real issues. I don't underestimate where you have been, I can't say fully that I understand exactly where you are. But to some extent, I know that psychological challenges are heavy. Mental issues are heavy. Some of them can be dealt with medicinally, issues like bipolar, for example, where for some reason you just have a change of moods. One time you are very high, another time you're very low. You have nothing to do about it. It is just a switching of moods. But there is medication to that. There are other, issues like schizophrenia. These are things that medicinally can be addressed. We have medicinal issues, health causes where some people may get themselves into that place of depression and, feelings of, taking away their lives. But this can be handled medicinally. Just be alert. Look at the people around you. Be your brother's or your sister's keeper. for lack of a better word. Just care, look around, observe changes of moods around you. Do not take it for granted. When you see patterns change, you look at patterns around you, maybe of your loved one, and for some reason you find they are sadder than usual. Don't take it for granted. Try to talk to them, try to reason with them, understand why maybe they are low. People go through issues, and life has real issues, So you try and understand them and try to sit them down and talk to them. Be the counselor, be the caregiver, be the speaker to your friends and to your relatives. Just look around, especially people that are close to you, and you can know when they are okay and when they are not okay. Don't take it for granted. It can cost a life, and many times, sometimes it goes with more than one person. I keep saying this: you lose one person, you've lost a network. You've lost a network. Some of these people that are going through suicide are mothers or fathers in a family. So you are losing a network of helpers in a family setting. These are people that could help even the nation or help in places of the society. So be that caregiver. You are in the front line. Suicide has no respect. Suicide is a deep matter. It is a deep matter. It respects no one. Depression issues, anxieties, respect no one. This is a deep matter. Let me just bring it to you that we are connected. Take connectivity heavily, because this is a heavy matter. We are in need of each other to save each other. It is from the way we talk to each other and the way we handle each other that we rescue one another. It is in our togetherness. Our collective responsibility is needed right now, especially in our country, Kenya. What is the state of hopelessness in your society? Is it your family? Some of the causes of suicide, apart from psychological causes and emotional causes, are also the feelings that you can do nothing about a situation. That is a lie from evil. All problems can be solved. There is no bigger lie than that. Let me speak to the place of the counselor in the country, Kenya. Where is the place of the counselor? Where is the place of the father? Where is the place of the mother? This is very key. Where is the place of the leader? Very much like a cover. If we want to move forward and overcome the rapid rise in cases of suicide, we need to go back to that place of the caregiver, the place of the prophet, for lack of a better word, the one who declares over people, the place of the counselor, the place of the professional counselor, of course, the place of the mentor, the place of the pastor, the place of the sheikh, the place of that person that looks at your issues. Let me bring it to you today. Do not just be in the eyes of people without being noticed. Obtain some optical value. As you are walking around your family, do not just be in the eyes of your father and your mother, that they just see you passing. Do not just be in the eyes of your husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, or eyes of your colleagues at work, or eyes of the people that you go to church or to mosque with, or to that temple with. Obtain some optical value. What do I mean? Go be noticed. Reach a place where you are noticed. That is where your care is. Suicide and depression thrives in you being unnoticed. Do not be at a place where you are just there. Nobody understands you. It is from where you are that you will be noticed. That's where you need to gain help. That person that is next to you, don't just be in their eyes and in their sight. Go beyond that. Obtain some value in their presence. Open up. Sometimes it's good to just share. Speak out. Say something. Sometimes it's good for you to connect, connectivity. Say something. Sometimes I hear people say that they sit down and they just talk about nothing. But in that nothingness, there is a lot that you share. It is good for you sometimes to just go deep. Appreciate people. Speak to somebody from that level of appreciation. When was the last time you appreciated somebody? Appreciate them. Appreciate them for being beautiful, handsome. Appreciate them from, being forthright, being consistent. Appreciate them for their talents. If you're a leader, and I'm talking of leadership from the angle of a counselor, a prophet, a pastor, a sheikh, a guru, whatever your religion is. Start by appreciating. You don't know the value that the society holds in their leaders. I hear people say this word, the buck stops with leaders. How true that statement is. Some people yearn for appreciation from their bosses. Did you know that? Just an appreciation from your manager. That makes it. It doesn't matter what everybody says, as long as my mother has said it. Did you know what value the word of a mother carries to the son and to the daughter? When was the last time you appreciated your son or your daughter? They go out there and they meet a lot of negativity, but they remember just the word from the mother or from the father or from the leader or from the boss or from the elder sister or elder brother. These words are heavy. Sometimes you just need to take it, because problems of depression are solved, believe it, by what? By counsel. Did you know that? Problems of depression are solved by counsel. Many times, of course, we have causes that are medicinal, the ones that I've mentioned, like bipolar, schizophrenia, and all that. But then, more often than not, it is just that lack of attention that causes depression. Yeah. That is what causes a lot of anxiety and hopelessness, When was the last time you as a leader shared hope to the people that you lead? You are the father. When was the last time you assured your sons and your daughters that they have a future? You need to do this. This preserves them as they go into broken relationships. Because life is life. Life is not like a book. Life is not so organized. Life can get messy. As people get out into life, they meet things, Living with the divine up there is another story. It's so wonderful. But living with the people that you know around is another issue. It needs some kind of training. None of us can walk alone, Now I hear the fans of Liverpool sending messages on 0111 980384. Liverpool's slogan is "Do not walk alone." But this is deep. Don't walk alone. Walk with somebody through life. Share with somebody. There is a lot that you can gain. There are helpers. These people that you see around, do not take it for granted. Right there where you are, that is where your help is. Do not deny yourself. Do not deny yourself help, because all problems, believe it or not, let me say that again, all problems are solvable. It doesn't matter whether the problem is a health issue. Health issues are solved. Why do you kill yourself? Why do you despair? If you demystified it, if you talked to somebody, you can overcome a health issue. Yeah. Chronic diseases are fought. They are overcome. We have champions of cancer. Did you know that? People that have overcome cancer. Can you believe it? And they're winning the war. So where you are today, you can overcome cancer. You can overcome whatever disease that is chronic, whatever challenge. You can overcome it. It is possible. Emotional issues can be overcome. Whether the issue comes from a broken relationship. You need to meet people who have been brokenhearted for you to understand. You know, right now, there is a lot of insecurity in relationships in the land of Kenya, understandably, because if you go to the social media, there is a lot of busting of, cheaters in relationships. And this is where the views are high. So Kenyans are watching a lot of social media content for people cheating in relationships. What is the ripple effect? People are becoming suspicious. People are becoming insecure because you go and you find that probably you've watched several, relationships with cheaters and people being busted through sanitizations of phones. They take a phone and they have anti-delete. They go through messages and they find that probably this person was cheating. Now you translate that to your life. It can happen to everybody else, but not you. You need to make that statement. Yeah. Even though everything that goes around comes around, you should know that you have a superior force concerning your own life. You command your emotions. Whatever you consume, can easily affect you. So as you watch a lot of this cheating in the social media, do not allow it to hit you with insecurity. Be secure. Be comfortable in your relationship. If there is something you need to do, you can do it. I'm talking about causes of suicide. It's a suicide awareness month. Yeah. And there is a reason why this has to come. There is no time like this where we need to talk about this, because for some reason there are cases of suicide. You and I would agree. You've either had it in the media or you've even encountered it. You've seen somebody commit suicide. Maybe you yourself has been suicidal. It is a deep matter, and we don't need to take this for granted. We need to address it. Treasures of Life show is your home of energy. Our best is to give you energy to overcome it. Somebody just sent a message about Shakahola, and Chakama. What do you do about it? What do you do about this kind of spiritual abuse, where it is on the religious front where you go to obtain hope, and that is where you are encouraged to commit suicide? Let me say this, maybe as I speak about other causes. The main cause, of course, is hopelessness and depression. But let me touch on that matter just for a while. Religion. There is no time, better time as this, for us as Kenya to think about the place of doctrine. For us to move forward as a country, we need to think about the place of our doctrine for our own sakes, for our own selves. If we truly care for each other, there is no better time for us to address this. What is the place of our doctrine? Do you have issues about the place of this, religious leaders in the country? The place of the religious minister and the place of the religious doctrine. As far as I'm concerned right now, and as far as you should be concerned, should be taken very, very seriously. A doctrine that discourages you from life is deception. You deserve life. Anything that takes away life from you, that is not correct doctrine. That is a mark of a false faith. Whatever your confession of faith is, it doesn't matter the kind of religion you subscribe to. Never give in to any religion, any doctrine that discourages you from life. Of course, we differ. We are a diverse country. And in our diversity, that is where our riches are. We are a country of freedom of religion. So in our diverse denominations, churches, and religious societies, we obtain some kind of spiritual strength. But at the end of the day, the place of doctrine should be looked at keenly. No doctrine should discourage life. It is a right enshrined in the Kenyan Constitution. It is a divine right. In fact, for us, we should say, since many of us are religious, let us bring the supernatural to the natural. Anything that is supernatural, anything that is super, we want it to manifest in the natural. Let us see the prosperity of our land in terms of peace. Let the people be happy. That is where true religion lies, where prosperity comes. What is it that you can demystify in your mind as bringing peace? You know, anyone that brings peace is a child of the divine. So if you bring the supernatural to the natural, you are bringing peace. You're bringing prosperity in every sector. That is what we should be keen about. The place of the minister. What is that place? What is that place of the minister in the country, Kenya, the religious leader? That place should be that place that is taken sacredly. A person, a minister that brings, healing and restoration in our different sectors. More or less, a person that when they speak, all our depressions go. We obtain hope. Is your religion full of hope or hopelessness? The place of the minister should be looked at keenly. Does your minister bring hope to you? Does your doctrine give you life? Probably that's what I can say about that matter. No religion should cause you to commit suicide. If it happens that you leave the earth, let it be for any other reason, but not that you've committed suicide. No. That is what I can say. You have a right to life. May life come into you as you listen to me today. These are, do you think of problems as so big problems that cannot be solved? Yeah? That you despair about it? What is your problem today? What is the problem of the society? That problem can be solved. Yeah? If there is a problem today, I don't know where your problem is. There are cases of suicides gone wrong. Think of places. I know you've met people probably who've tried committing suicide. Maybe you have, and it has gone wrong. For example, somebody tying their necks with a rope, climbing a tree. This is in the rural areas mostly. And then they jump, and then the branch breaks. Now, instead of them losing their life, they lose their leg. The pain that comes with a broken bone is not an easy pain. So the cry becomes, take me to hospital. Take me to a place where I can get attention because I have pain. But there is a deeper pain than that. If you commit suicide, you are causing bigger pain than that. There are cases. One lady who wouldn't mind me sharing this shared with me how she attempted to jump into a river. She literally went to a river, at the river to be precise. And just before she jumped, as she was headed to the river very early, was it late in the evening, a hippo came out. And she wanted to die, but of course not from the mouth of a hippo. She ran as fast as her legs could carry her. And that was the last time she thought about suicide. And interestingly, as she was running, another person was also coming to the same place to commit suicide. And they ran together, and that is how their lives were rescued. Think about that. That case that went wrong of the woman who sat in her Mercedes Benz with her son, bouncing baby boy, can you believe it? And poured petrol in the Benz and lit it. And they died, burnt to ashes, right in the presence of their husband and father. Think of the pain. Think of the pain that you leave behind. Just for that reason alone, you have a reason to stay alive. The pain that you cause when you commit suicide is far much deeper than you can think about. This is a deep matter today. Just in case you are going through any form of depression, anxiety, or anything that makes you feel like your problem doesn't have a solution, I have good news for you. From this home of energy, the Treasures of Life show, all problems have a solution. Wisdom, do you have it? Wisdom is the ability to solve problems. Think about it now. Bring it to yourself. Just the ability to solve problems, that's how simple it is. You're wise. If you have an ability to solve your problem, manage your problems. That is how to overcome it. Manage it. What challenge is it you're facing today? Is it a disability like mine? Is it a chronic illness? Is it a broken relationship? Manage it. Many months from today, you will notice that relationship that you're about to kill yourself about was not worth it. It was not worth your life. Far much ahead, there is future waiting for you. Yeah. There is something good ahead waiting for you. What you're seeing is not the broader picture. The hopelessness you're seeing tomorrow is very small. There is a broader picture that you're not seeing. For many who are religious would say that is the supernatural broader picture. Yeah, for those who are spiritual, supernatural, divine, if you're in any religion, you are taught about the bigger picture, I'm sure your sheikh or your guru or your pastor or your prophet, they tell you about the broader picture for tomorrow. So as you're sitting right now down, you need to break the mantra. If there is something trying to speak to you, how do you break the mantra? Talk to yourself. Okay, talk and break that mental torture. Just talk. Say something. Speak to somebody, of course. If there is some kind of thought that is saying, kill yourself, take your life, think of something that you can say, speak to somebody, something good. Then it distracts. That's how you distract mental torture. You distract mental torture the moment you start talking. A problem shared is a problem half solved. Did you hear that? A problem shared is a problem half solved. The moment you start talking, you distract the evil thought. Evil thoughts thrive in mental torture, in a place where you are confined alone, where you cannot talk, where you are told if you speak, you will be embarrassed, you will be ashamed. Where will you hide your face? People will see you are not together. That is evil. It wants to keep you tormented, to yourself, not to speak out. Start speaking out. The moment you speak out, evil thoughts stop. That is how it is. That is how it is. The moment you start talking, the moment you start sharing, or singing good things, or just declaring good things, or talking to people, encouraging somebody, or singing a song, you distract that evil, mental, torturing thought of committing suicide. Suicide thrives in your mind, being alone, thinking about yourself as being so sorry, looking on the inside, like you're not matching it. That is a lie. That lie thrives in your mind. That is the battle that you need to overcome. Fight it. Fight. It is a good thing to fight. Fight in your mind. Speak out. Don't die alone. There is help. Don't die alone. How can you die with all these millions of Kenyans around? Wonderful people, powerful people, counselors, sheikhs, pastors. How do you die with all these fathers and mothers around? You may be experiencing abuse, maybe from your home or from your relationship. But look around. There are other people around. They are happy. Some of them look to be. Just get out there, start mingling, speak to somebody out there. You'll be shocked of what you do not know. There is a lot that you need to explore out beyond you. Beyond that trouble, there is a solution. Manage the problem by just stepping out. Don't die alone. Don't die in the pit alone. You can come to the Treasures of Life show and I'll hold your hand and pull you out of the pit. Or you can speak to a Kenyan out there. Speak to somebody in the world. There is somebody out there that can lift you up. There is somebody ready to support you. Did you know that? That there is psychological support? Did you know that there is psychological support? Some people can take you far. You can't believe it. You think you're alone. Just start talking. You will be shocked. You are not alone. I just said that maybe Liverpool fans are watching me and they know their slogan, do not walk alone. There is power in that statement. There is support. There is psychological support. You can go to places of mentorship. You can go to places of counsel. Yeah. You can go to places where people will support you beyond measure. There are people who can support you, believe it or not. Not just financially. Of course, some people can give in their hundreds of thousands and their millions. The moment they believe in your dream and they believe in you. The moment you share correctly. The moment you open up. But there are people who can just help you by being there for you. Social support. You belong. You belong. You are alive. Look at your fingerprints. Yesterday, by the way, I was at a fingerprint point. I went to get a certificate of good conduct. Hi, people there that were there. Is it Madaraka Huduma Center? I was attended to by wonderful people there. They took my fingerprints in readiness for me getting a certificate of good conduct. And that told me something as they were rubbing those things on my hands and taking all forms of fingerprints. It just hit me that I am unique. There is nobody else like me. There is nobody else like you. You're special. With all your inconsistencies. Can you believe it? With all your unique values, with all your unique, you are just perfect in your imperfection. The way you laugh, nobody can do that. Nobody can laugh like you. Nobody can walk like you, talk like you. Nobody can just take the space, the niche that you take. You're special, So stand in for you, who you are. Fight for that space. Shine. Just be in there. Find a way of staying alive. Staying alive. A live dog is better than a dead lion. My name is Simba, and I know that there is a statement, a live dog is better than a dead lion. Because what is the use of dying? When you're dead, it is all gone. You just let people win. That person who broke your heart wins. That evil wins. That is what they want, That is what that evil pattern wants, It doesn't matter. Things can be changed. Maybe it has been like that with you before. Yeah, maybe it happened. Those are patterns maybe. You've experienced patterns of poverty. And you feel like this is taking you too much to the, to the corner. Patterns of poverty can be broken. There is a broader picture. What you are seeing is a very small picture. In fact, you are looking behind. That sounds like evil look. You're looking behind and you're seeing poverty in the father of your father of your father, the mother of your mother and your mother. Those are patterns in the back, behind, many years. What I'm talking about is the present and tomorrow. I'm talking about the broader picture, something bigger. Something that can be broken. There is a pattern. There is a pattern that you can break. So don't kill yourself because of lack of money. Can you believe it? Lack of financial resources. Yes, we all need money. We need this and that. But money problems can be solved. But time problems cannot be solved. If someone takes away time from you, No, you can't get it again. By committing suicide, you are taking the biggest treasure from yourself, the treasure of time. Oh, how sweet time is. Time can do wonders. Time can repair patterns of lack, patterns of want and neediness. Time can repair that. Let nobody take it away. That is the final game. That is the final card. If I was to speak to the powers of the divine, I would tell the powers of the divine, take away the pain and the sting of death. Because that is the final card. Whoever overcomes it has overcome the biggest warfare of mankind. So when you deny yourself that biggest treasure to humanity, the treasure of time, just staying alive, you are robbing yourself of the biggest treasure that evil can take it away from you. What evil has done? It has made you just kill yourself with your own hands. Do you want to fall prey in the hands of evil? No. May that thought just lift off. Rise up from that seat. Start speaking. Seek attention. Rise up from that place of despair. I know it is deep. Issues are real. I know I'm speaking to real issues. It is fine to shed a tear. It is fine to cry. But then, once you're done, just rise up. Rise up again. You belong to a superior, class of people. People that move forward. Those are superior people. People that never give up. Those are superior people. Did you know that superior people, even if they lost wealth, they can make wealth again? Did you know that superior people, even if their businesses burnt down, maybe the way your business burnt down, they can repair themselves and bring back themselves to places of prosperity and success? Yeah. Did you know that superior people, even though they may be broken-hearted in their relationships, they can go and get into another relationship? Did you know that? That superior people can demystify their illnesses. They can speak out. And they can become champions of cancer, HIV and AIDS, and other many chronic illnesses. They can overcome it. And they can look at that sting of that disease and say, I have overcome you. It is doable. No problem cannot be solved. Let me wind it up there. I know I'm speaking to multitudes of Kenyans today in the many counties of this country. Let us not be hopeless. There is hope. It is only a wizard who can give us a small picture of a bad tomorrow. That is only a wizard. Or it is only a wizard who can mess our picture. But goodness, the superior people, the many Kenyans that are looking and watching me today, and anyone away from, even this country of Kenya that is watching me, they are looking at the broader picture. They want peace. They want prosperity. That is what I wish for you. Life is fragile. Handle it with prayer and a lot of care. My prayers are with you as I wind up today. That one I've said with a Kenyan accent, just in case you're watching from far. This has been the Treasures of Life show, the home of energy, and my name is Jonas Simba. Our sign language interpreter has been Gideon Minor. Follow this on YouTube, Science TV, or you can get the link on my socials, Blind Jonas Simba, Facebook and TikTok. Give me your views on 0111980384. See you next week on the Treasures of Life show. Bye-bye.